They don't care about you, not a single one of them. The amount that they care about you is... Live streaming and content creating is more complex than ever, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Anyone who tells you differently is probably already made it, and they have a team to take advantage of everything, and anything that they tell you is probably extremely disconnected from what you're actually experiencing. The $1 million deals that everyone's talking about right now weigh so much less on any of your decisions than what we're going to talk about in this video. There's a ton of opportunity, but keep in mind the context of what we're creating in right now. The content creation bubble seems to have popped, and we're in a pretty rough economic time where every single corporate entity is trying to make up for all of their losses that happened from the panini. So all of this adds up to creators having just an all-consuming sense of overwhelm. How do I do it all? Where do I start? Which platform is best? When should I find people to watch me? Let's cut through all the BS and talk about the realities that very few people are talking about with regard to streaming. What you should always do to figure out why a business is doing anything. Trace the money. That way you can find the streaming platform or any platform's focus, thus understanding where you fit into their priorities. Each live streaming platform generally exists as more than just a pure revenue stream for the owner, which is generally a giant tech corporation. Most companies that own live streaming platforms make the live streaming service for the synergies that they can benefit from, especially since it's hard to purely profit from a live streaming platform. We'll break down each platform's focus, then look at the reputation and monetization options as they apply to you. Twitch has been the giant of live streaming for a while, but there's a lot going on right now in the industry. Should you leave Twitch? I'm not going to give you a pro and con list because yours is going to be different than mine. If you're a gambling streamer, for instance, just go to Kick. We're going to break down the unique elements of each platform. You can then list out the ones that are most important to you, and then you can move them into a pros and cons list the way you see fit. This is how to filter out information in any video you see, by the way. Grain of salt. What applies to you, and being mindful of the mindset of who you're listening to. I'm Mad Curious, and I'm a very, very mildly successful and very struggling creator that's trying to build 2 YouTube channels, gaming and this one business, at the expense of some of my streaming success, for hopeful opportunity at longevity and a higher chance at a lifetime career in creation. I also have 7 years of corporate finance experience and have an MBA with concentrations in finance and entrepreneurship. So analyzing businesses and how to improve them is kind of my thing. But that doesn't mean that my advice is better for you than someone else's. This context now helps you decide how to filter the information I'm giving you. Right now, I want you to picture your goals. If you're struggling with even picturing what you want, let me know in the comments and I can make a video on that as well. Here's a basic formula for you to use to make your decisions as we go along. Anyone can actually be successful in content creation with a basic math equation. I know math, stay with me for a moment. It's a simple equation, but it's really tough to accomplish. Quality plus timing plus opportunity. And opportunity equals the scope of location or platform minus the opportunity cost of utilizing that platform over another. And all of that, quality, timing plus opportunity equals success. So picture what it'll take to get there. And as I list these out, get out your notebook, your phone notes, your laptop, wherever you take notes, write down which things apply to you the most and put them in a pros and cons list or a prioritization list, however you prefer to do it. Twitch, let's go. Twitch's focus, they're the live streaming kings, sort of. They're owned by Amazon, so they're able to use AWS, Amazon Web Services, at cost, aka live streaming is expensive, and Twitch has a cost advantage over all of the other live streaming platforms because they can utilize some of the most expensive costs for the cheapest amount. Twitch was acquired most likely to utilize parts of Twitch's business for services Amazon needed for other arms of their business. Twitch did this, plus it functions as a revenue stream on its own if well managed. Recently, that management changed, and things are actually moving very quickly since then. But regardless of all of that, Twitch is generally exclusively a live streaming platform, and their monetization is built around that. That's their focus. Although, there's some recent platform additions that may change that, such as the Clips feed that was just announced. So Twitch's reputation, things that Twitch has been known for before the recent changes, they have a decent reputation in the industry and further, and they have a decent reach. There are people who've heard of Twitch that don't even game and don't even spend time on it. It's pretty well known. Great overall sense of community, moderation tools, especially recently, they have updated a few. They do not have multi-streaming. It's not allowed. And recently they even made that apply to non-affiliates so that no one, even if you do not have any sort of signed contract with them, it breaks TOS. They're the only platform that I know of that does that. Now the one that we all care about, Twitch and money. It sucks. The monetization on Twitch is actually one of the hardest to meet. You not only need 50 followers, but you need 3 average viewers. And on top of that, 8 hours streamed and 7 days streamed. However, let's be real for a second. Come here, come in. If you cannot get 3 friends to watch you, no one's giving you money. I'm not saying this to shame you if you can't hit affiliate. I'm saying you need to get viewers first. My intention is to get you to think about your priorities. Affiliate is just the ability to be able to monetize. So don't worry about it. Worry about creating the right content in the right place for you. But all of that said, Twitch's affiliate program, their monetization is one of the harder ones to actually achieve, though it's still much easier than YouTube. And it has the in capital letters awful sub split comparatively to literally anywhere. Oh, but what about Partner Plus? They just added it. And this won't affect most of you, period. The percentage of people that will get this, it's not only a tiny amount of streamers, it's a tiny amount of partners. I think it's like 350 editing mad recurring subs. So not your gifted, not your prime, individual people that are paying you each month for subs. And you get that up to like your first 100K. So there's like a very select amount of streamers that are benefiting from that for a certain amount of time. It's not actually going to affect most people's content unless they're like right on the verge of getting it. Then they might want to incentivize individual subs a little bit more. And once they hit that, they might incentivize subs more than they used to. That's it. It's not going to affect you generally. We talk too much in the industry about things that don't matter to most of the people who are trying to make decisions. Filter it all out. Filter. Let's talk about the important. Okay, so let's move on to YouTube. YouTube's focus is that they are owned by Google, so they'll always naturally be more focused on ads. They'll have better ad placements, along with being the most capable search engine for a social media platform. Their main focus isn't live streaming, it's video on demand, which means they minimally focus on live discoverability. Even if they made that a bigger focus, it will never be the focus. Now, the discoverability on YouTube live streaming could still be better than other platforms comparatively, but always keep in mind the platform's focus as it applies to you and where you are in their prioritization list. People tend to do better with live streaming on YouTube once they've already built a community there and have built up some of their VOD content and subscribers, because the audience generally goes to YouTube for VOD content, not live, unlike say Twitch. So it's a great example of a potential opportunity if you decide you're doing evergreen content for YouTube, but it also makes it difficult if you just want to go there to stream. Okay, so YouTube's reputation, it has the highest reputation of anything that we will mention today, though maybe not for some of the content you want to do, but it is a household name. We're on to your favorite part, money. Better sub split than Twitch. That's not hard to do. Literally anyone can do it.
Twitch is robbing you.
But it is harder to monetize than pretty much any other streaming platform, because you're monetizing for more than just streaming, you're monetizing for their VOD content as well. They actually did just reduce their requirements though, down from 1,000 subscribers to 500 subscribers, which is huge.
Sudden death.
They decreased 4,000 watch hours to 3,000, which is great. And you can also fill it now with short specific requirements. You could before, but they lowered it from, I believe, 10 million down to 3 million. And you have to do that 90 days though. For the hours and the subs, you have to have the hours over 1 year. Let's talk about everyone's favorite topic in the streaming space right now. Kick. I can't easily kick from here. Let's start off with a big truth, shall we? Myth busting time. Everyone's talking about the wrong things in relation to Kick and how successful you can be there, okay? The only way the big multi-million, remember what we said at the beginning? The multi-million-dollar deals? The only way that those affect you is to say that this platform now has more of a sense of legitimacy, to maybe not disappear tomorrow, but and there will now be more viewers probably using the platform. Will any of those viewers care about you? Not necessarily, but to some extent it can, right? Now, do you want to be on Kick, regardless of some of those elements? Let's look at their focus. Gambling. What's neat about Kick is actually their monetization strategy, which is fully different from Twitch's. Twitch could do so much more, and I'll probably make another video on that at some point. Twitch could do so much more to create revenue streams between them and Amazon, okay? Kick built their entire platform around them feeding the parent company money. That's how they're able to offer their better sub splits. Spoiler alert for the money section. And probably keep it. People are like, they can't maintain that. Twitch can't even maintain that, and they're owned by Amazon. Listen, look, the point flying past, different monetization strategy, different revenue streams. They are feeding their viewers into the wonderful world of gambling. Oh, but Mad, they made it so you can toggle off gambling in the bikinis now. You can do it. A fog and mirrors. It's a show. All right. They're putting on a performance for you. Manipulation station. They did that because the people who are toggling those off aren't their audience. They aren't the ones that they're gonna filter into. Okay. That's not them. The ones that they're feeding into gambling are the ones not not toggling it off. They're not losing anything by adding that. They're just looking like they're not all about gambling. Imagine that. There's a reason that people get paid to do this stuff. Marketing, PR, creating things to make the business look good. People get paid for this, okay? Look at the business. Stop being like, you're personally offending me. They don't care. They don't money. Whatever they're doing is for the stakeholders. They are trying to make them money so that they get their bonuses. That's it. That's where the decisions are coming from. They don't care about you. Not a single one of them. The amount that they care about you is possibly part of their mission statement, overarching, because that is what their business is built on. Past that, they are money. Maybe they do care about you. Maybe I'm being cynical, but they care about you less than they care about the bottom line. Gambling is how they're probably not lying about their sub split. Now, as for their live streaming platform, it's a carbon copy of Twitch. It's a clone. It looks just like it. They could probably get sued. They probably and if they do, it will probably affect you if you put all your eggs in the Kick basket, okay? On the other hand, it's nice to know that if Twitch were to tomorrow, we'd have somewhere to go that feels nearly exactly the same. Anyone who tells you differently is a lying liar that lies, okay? Moving on. Reputation. This is a business video. Okay, I'm not your mom telling you what to do. However, reputation matters. So does your morality and your values behind what you're creating. Just be mindful that there's negativity in many circles surrounding Kick. Make your decisions from there. However, the big Kick hype these days is about the deals we've talked about, the multi-million, the XQC, the Pokemon. I have a feeling that talking about my experience and everything that I've learned with my corporate MBA knowledge of well over a decade will at least be mildly more helpful to those struggling with decisions in relation to all of these streaming platforms than telling you what's in the pockets of these people that have like 2% the same experience as you on the platforms. You're not getting those deals. The only way that affects you is by legitimizing the platform to some extent. All right, so consider the information that you can make decisions based off of. Other parts of Kick's reputation, they're new. People like shiny new things, period. Opportunity. Capitalize on that timing wherever it makes sense for you. We got to the money. Money. It's simpler than Twitch. It's 75 followers and 5 hours streamed. Not too bad. You do have to get more followers, but you don't have to have an average. Much easier. Full disclosure, I got instant monetization there. I'm not a huge creator. They offered it to me. I like that. It had a positive impact on my life. It can have a positive impact on your life too. Anyone who says, but growth, but Twitch, it's better. You can grow more on the talking. Be realistic. Filter. Think about what can actually change for you, not what can change for the person on Twitter begging for your engagement. Kick is trying to get people to jump over to their platform, to try it, or to move over entirely. There's opportunity in that. And again, getting monetized isn't that much different than on Twitch. The sub split gives you basically double your income from Twitch. 95.5. That's, and everybody's like, you're gonna move for the money? Yes, they're gonna move for the money. Are you kidding me? Yo, what? I'm sorry. Listen, we already went over it. I'm just saying, like, live your best life, dude. Don't let anyone tell you not to do what's right for you. Imagine you're having a bad month and you can barely pay your rent because everything sucks right now and the economy is just like, and people are like, Aiden, is the Aiden in your chat right now? Is he in the room with us right now? Sorry, rants, taking the rant hat back off. Listen, the thing is, 95.5 is great, but opportunity costs. Are you actually gonna get as many subs on Kick as you get on Twitch? If you do, get that bag, go for it, have fun. But understand that it's very possible that if you lose your community and you don't build a new one, you're not gonna get the same amount of subs anyway, and you're not actually going to get double your money. Math. No, sub split doesn't matter if no one wants to watch you on Kick. But if you do well there, yay, money. Also, there are rumors of them paying creators. Most likely they're top creators, so don't get too excited unless you're one of those. But hey, guess what? Their monetization is better than Twitch. Okay, editing Mad here. I'll be popping in a few times during this video because while I am generally roasting each platform for entertainment, I want to make sure that I am giving you useful information to make a pros and cons list. Let's talk about where Kick has excelled, and that is their communication and quick adaptation. They have a great reputation for communicating both on Twitter and email. They've been taking what creators have been giving them feedback on, and they've been adapting those things very quickly, faster than I've ever seen throughout the live streaming industry. And while that is very much confirmation bias, I've had nothing but positive experiences with Kick, and I know a ton of creators loving it there. So the initial reputation aside, I've honestly been pretty impressed by Kick. Let's talk about Facebook gaming. Listen, I bring up this one to once again stress, use your logic. I saw some of the biggest names in the industry on here. Let's just, everybody, don't tell them. Push Facebook gaming like Zuck himself was putting money in your pockets like your grandma when you got straight A's, all right? Salt grain. Okay, so Facebook gaming's focus. Look, Facebook or Meta is unfortunately probably here to say, even though it's a hellscape, it also boasts a wealth of opportunity for creators. They even just launched their new Twitter competition Threads, but they seem to bake a lot of pies, and some of those pies fall on the ground. Facebook gaming is one of those. Still, that doesn't mean to avoid it. Just be mindful when listening to content gurus who tell you to put your eggs in Facebook's baskets. Listen, reputation. It's the only household name in here other than YouTube, but eggs basket. I don't think anyone in the live streaming space is taking them seriously anymore. But that doesn't mean there's not opportunity there for a live streamer. If you prefer your viewers be named John Smith instead of Gamerboy69, trying to take it seriously for 2 seconds, all right? Its unique features seem to be on more of the mobile side. And if you are a Facebook expert, there's a lot in the realm of discoverability. Everybody complains about the discoverability on Twitch. Facebook has like endless discoverability opportunities if you know how to capitalize on them, or you want to do the research to learn how to capitalize on them. Like with any other social media platform, it has that as an advantage. However, what it also has as an advantage over any other regular social media platform that might just have live streaming on the side is that they actually do have a competitive live streaming service, and they have synergistic opportunities between the two for creators. Everyone complains about Twitch discoverability, so I present to you Zuckbook Gaming. We're at the money. Thank goodness we're almost done with Facebook. It has fairly simple monetization requirements. Looks like you only need like 100 likes. I don't know how that doesn't seem hard. That's all I could find on it. I didn't want to sign up. Please don't make me. They're sub split. 70-30. Still better than Twitch. Editing Mad here. I totally missed one. Rumble. The focus of this one's actually really interesting because it is the only one on this list that has recently been successful while a private venture. Rumble actually went public in September of last year. And while this is impressive, it's a little less impressive when you realize that it was built by being backed by a billionaire. I'll say that 5 times fast. Its focus is on being the anti-cancel culture live streaming platform, which basically means it touts itself as a YouTube without as many rules. Rumble's reputation is, let's say, not generally the most professionally accepted. I'm not your mom telling you what to do. However, reputation matters. Due to its focus on being the anti-censoring platform, it's become known as a haven for politically charged content. Like the other platforms, that's certainly not the only type of content there, and it seems like during this period of scooping up large creators with contracts, it sounds like they have been attempting to sign creators outside of that realm. But if political content is your thing, you might want to look at Rumble. However, I want to make it very clear that I recommend doing your research before choosing to live stream on Rumble, as it is known for having very specific groups that thrive there. As for monetization, I couldn't find data on whether Rumble will change requirements for how to get monetized there based on YouTube's, as it seems that they base their structure on YouTube's old structure of 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. As of 2022 data, that is what I found for their monetization requirements. It also doesn't appear that Rumble has promoted a future sub split, but for all of 2023, they've offered 100% of their subs to creators. Now, with the focus on VOD content like YouTube, the monetization on Rumble will have a few nuances outside of live streaming. Let's quickly go over one that isn't specifically live streaming, but all of the different social media platforms that include live streaming, such as TikTok, Instagram, and I'm pretty sure Twitter had it at one point. Those are options. I'd say monetization on these is actually much harder to get than on any of the live streaming platforms, unless you just thrive on social media more than you do live streaming. Personally, I don't even have like 900 followers on Instagram. I try, but it's just not my content focus most of the time. And I just don't like TikTok, and I can't stay on there long enough to get 1,000 followers. And I have like 5 accounts of trying different ideas because I just don't like it there. So I'm just being 100 with you that this could be a biased take. I'd be surprised if Twitter doesn't actually implement live streaming again with the direction that they've been taking things. Sounds like they're going to monetize even more content on Twitter soon, like video content. However, I think the monetization requirements will be pretty high. I think it was 5 million impressions in a month. That's quite a bit. And that it will be pay to play. You've got to hit those requirements, and I think you you also have to pay for Twitter Blue. So great. Yeah. And yes, I do subscribe to Twitter Blue. If you want to roast me for that, please follow me on my social media. Subscribe. Give me and like YouTube with Instagram and TikTok. If you've built or plan on building those specific types of content and that specific type of audience on those platforms, it's a great opportunity to also live stream on them. Even Twitch, actually, though they don't allow multi-streaming, as far as I know, they do allow multi-streaming to these platforms that aren't live streaming specific. Another feature of this to note on your list, you have to stream vertically. Thanks, I hate it. Gross, not optimal for gaming. They also have very basic tools in comparison to the live streaming platforms. Just consider the opportunity cost for you of streaming somewhere where the tools are less, the specific focus on live streaming is less, but you have a lot more discoverability tools at your disposal. Just know that because their live streaming is built completely differently and is not their focus, they'd be more likely to get rid of your live streaming option at any given moment. Speaking of live streaming platform RIPs, Mixer. I'm so sorry if that was your platform. Did Ninja's career end by going over there? Did any of the big streamers? I'm sure he's crying over his millions right now. Improvise, improvise, adapt, and overcome, all right? You're always gonna have to do that in the creator space. Okay, Mythbuster time again. Ready? Longevity of a platform doesn't entirely equate to your success on that platform and in general, or your month, your week, your day, your year. Keeping your community in one place and growing it there is super helpful. But don't for 1 second think that somebody who's like screaming about longevity of a platform is telling you something all that helpful, because there are probably people who made it on Mixer, got their bag, came to Twitch, and did just fine. Maybe some of those people regret it and wish they'd stayed on Twitch, but that's hindsight. You don't know what's gonna happen. Don't be afraid to try different opportunities in different places. There's a balance between spreading yourself too thin and mitigating risk by putting all your eggs in one basket. Find that sweet spot for yourself. Don't be afraid of it. Take chances, improvise, adapt, overcome, and don't listen to people who have really bad advice. Filter. Now, you can look for signs of longevity and make that a priority for yourself. But in the current creator climate, you're going to be moving quickly no matter what. And you should consider establishing places to communicate with your community all over the place, whether that's all over socials, Discord. There's even a presence of email lists and newsletters still on the YouTube side of things that I just found. Some places are slower to change. You've got to pay attention and figure out what's right for you. The externals are outside of your control. Pretty much every single content guru out there yells at you to diversify. I want to say this in a hopefully slightly more helpful way. You don't need, come here, come close again, right? You don't need to be on any other platforms to grow your live stream. Don't listen to anyone who tells you differently. They are a lying liar that lies. However, they can help you in every single conceivable way. So again, strike a balance. Don't make your brand too reliant on any one platform so that you can't adapt, but focus on only one or two so that you actually have time to grow your content and your community in that space. All right, let's go through some honorable mentions, shall we? You guys are like, wait, you haven't mentioned my favorite. Don't worry, we're getting there, I promise. I see you little DLives. I see you. Vimeo. You guys are like, wait, excuse? Listen, Vimeo, it's real. The only reason I'm putting this one in is because it was the first thing to pop up when I Googled live streaming platforms to make sure that I didn't miss any. So I've used Vimeo for Patreon, but Patreon now has their own video service within them. So I probably won't be using them after this year. Apparently you can stream there. I don't know anyone who does, but Vimeo's focus is to manage video sharing. So kind of like back-end YouTube creation, more of a set of like video organizational tools more than anything. Look, it's worth checking out if you're into multi-streaming or just want to be different, but their focus doesn't seem to be regular gaming live streaming. We'll get to that in just a second. Their reputation, they have a solid reputation in just the general video management industry. I'd consider Vimeo about as seriously as I'd consider live streaming on any social media platform, though I'm not sure that the benefits would be the same at all. If you just wake up one morning and you're like, I want to be where not the people are, you know? But I would compare it to social media in terms of probably where live streaming is in their lineup of products. Okay, but what about money? There's a catch, a big, huge catch, like the biggest catch you've ever seen. You have to pay to live stream on Vimeo. So I'd assume this is more for like educational type content, event-based live streams that maybe you're hosting on your own website. There are a lot of great places on the internet for education content to live and thrive. There's not a lot of places for live streaming content like that I know of. So maybe they're trying to fill that gap. It could be a great opportunity if you're looking to make educational or big event-based content. And you could also maybe pair this with YouTube to some degree. Worth keeping in mind. Definitely not the norm. Editing that here, I had a section recorded for LiveSpace that went something like this. I'll be keeping an eye on it, and you should too. And then I did indeed keep an eye on them, and that I started staring. I have not one, but two videos on LiveSpace that actually pushed back the date of this video being published because that's how wild the story gets. If you want the tea for what I would call at this point a pretty shady business, those videos cover the focus and reputation of LiveSpace tenfold, though I do have some additional comments on LiveSpace's monetization. However, I will not be giving those at this time because I'm not giving LiveSpace any more free consulting when they exactly copied thousands of dollars worth of my consulting advice without a shred of acknowledgement. Market research rates are not cheap. Not that they'd know. LiveSpace's monetization, like many of their practices, raises my eyebrows. Like any of these other platforms, that's not to say that you shouldn't do your own research, test what feels right for you, and know that somebody will probably be successful there. Even in the shadiest of businesses, someone's successful. And I'm not saying that can't be you. Get your bag as long as you're not hurting anyone else while doing it. But I am saying be cautious. And LiveSpace doesn't deserve any more space in my content than that. So let's look at something that's been around for a second, Tropo. It's probably hit your radar at some point in time. It's a live streaming platform very similar to Twitch and to Kick, but it's owned by the devil himself, Tencent. If you don't know Tencent, they're basically the evil empire that owns everything. Its audience is generally more outside of the US, which is differentiating, and it's focused more on mobile gaming. So if you're in either of those two spaces or both, then, you know, look at the Death Star. I mean, Tropo. Reputation. Honestly, I don't think anyone cares unless you're on Tropo. I'm sorry. Look, I'm going to be serious for a moment about Tropo. If you're there having a good time, cool. You probably barely even heard about it. Everyone who's pro Tropo that I've seen will say something like, there's not that many streamers over there, so you can stand out. Well, that depends on the ratio of creators to viewers, like on any platform and overall in the industry. Probably doesn't hurt to do your research and see what people are watching. Try it out for yourself. Maybe test the waters of small fish, small pond. In all seriousness, the positive thing that I can say about Tropo, money. Really simple monetization. You only need 20 followers, 5 hours streamed. Might as well not even have it at all. I also saw at one point, and I don't know how old this information was and if they're still doing it, but they had bonuses for streamers, which is interesting based on, I think, viewership, time streamed, kind of like how Twitch partners were getting extra bonus money for running ads when Twitch was trying to incentivize ads, and they were getting like loads of money, and then they lowered it so much that the partners didn't want to do it as much anymore, but they probably already got them into the habit, which is what they wanted in the first place. It's kind of like that probably to some extent, which is based on viewership and time streamed. And so Kick's idea to pay streamers isn't the first idea of its kind. It's all different types of getting streamers to do the types of things that they want them to do, and monetization for the streamers, monetization for the platform. It's all just different takes of the same general concept. What Kick might be doing is great, but nothing new under the sun. Now back to Tropo. It's still a better sub-split than Twitch. What's that? It's not? No, it's really not. It's really not 50-50. Okay, I've got to say something nice. I've got to say something nice about Tropo. Okay, so they boast that the streamers on Tropo make more money than the other live streaming platforms. Ooh, how? Well, believe it or not, this actually goes back to mobile gaming. So if that's a niche that you're focused on, that's actually positive. It also sounds like they have a lot more monetization options than Twitch. They've done something intriguing with chat rank and incentives for it. So if you give more money, you seem more important in chat. And what does a chat enjoy more than seeming important? Sorry, I have had a lot of backseaters lately. Just want attention. Here's your attention. There you go. So if you give more money, you seem more important in chat. Everybody wins? Gamifying that really is a pretty cool concept, and it means money. All right, little DLive cuties. I know, I'm so sorry that I've made you wait this long. So DLive looks like it functions similarly to Twitch, Kick, and Tropo. Its owner is BitTorrent. This is one that the focus was least clear to me. So I discussed it with a friend that understands BitTorrent better than I do, and I also checked out the white paper. Why would BitTorrent want a streaming platform? It makes a little bit of sense in their product and service lineup purely as a monetization in and of itself, but how, you ask, when Twitch struggles and generally has the cost advantage that we talked about? How would BitTorrent be making money off of a streaming platform? Okay, just a real quick, the most basic finance equation that I can give you without making everyone do math. I promise, just a tiny bit of math. Revenue minus expenses equals profit. We've talked a lot about revenue in this and how they bring in money. Twitch has the cost advantage, better profit, money, but not many of them otherwise have a cost advantage. DLive might have that through what they do with BitTorrent and the fancy decentralization stuff. Listen, there's only so much time in a day. I don't really understand any of it, but they may have a cost advantage with how they've set everything up, the web, whatever, that side of the internet, you little cuties that I don't understand, and y'all are always talking and being excited about it. So that advantage exists in DLive. and it seems to be a cost advantage. Okay, we're following. It's a decentralized streaming platform that gives power to the streamer to keep their costs lower so they can provide streaming where everyone wins a little bit in terms of monetization. So about DLive's reputation, it's about the same as Tropo. No one cares. But if you have a reason to go there and thrive, go there to thrive. In all seriousness, the main unique features there seem to be how they utilize the blockchain technology, since it's owned by BitTorrent, in order to gamify and reward simply using the platform as a viewer as well. So you can actually just make money by using and interacting on DLive. Kind of cool. To get monetized on DLive, you only need 200 followers. That's the highest amount of followers of any of these monetization requirements, but that's the only monetization requirement that I found, except for one that I think is dated that also said you had to follow them on Twitter. So I don't know if that's true. Again, please do not make me sign up to figure this out, but it looked like 200 followers. Most of the information I could find on DLive was really dated. I don't know why. It seemed more dated than pretty much any other platform. Do with that what you will. Now, the really interesting thing I found about DLive, speaking of dated information, is that they give 100% of the money to the creator. Yet on their website, I found a different story, which says that they take 75%. So maybe 100% was a thing of the past, but it gets more interesting. DLive as a platform isn't taking the other 25%. It's going straight to BitTorrent stakeholders. So no direct reinvestment into the platform. BitTorrent certainly could reinvest as much as they want into it, but it's not going to DLive, which I found interesting. That just sounds like a finance nightmare. But anyway, it's just something to keep in mind as unique. Guess what though? Still a better cut than Twitch. All right, so here's a summary of all of the different focuses, reputations, and monetization requirements on the screen for you to list out however you want. If I get really motivated, I will put it on my Patreon, but like for free where anyone can see it, just to give you a place to go to grab it. If I do that, I will let you know in the description below. Think about you, goals first, get your content strategized to the strengths of whichever platforms that you decide on. That's it. That's the starting place to getting out of the state of overwhelm. So the answer to our original question is yes, leave Twitch, but only if your goals align with the opportunities elsewhere that would make the opportunity cost higher of streaming on Twitch than on another platform or doing another type of content entirely. This should be enough information for you to decide where you want to do that. Don't worry about the rest. Put your lens on, do your filtering. Put together an idea of what you want to accomplish with a mix of live streaming and evergreen content. You really should be making some. I know everybody yells at you to do it. Figure out that mix for you or whatever you want to do right now. And I hope this video helps you with that. I'm Mad Curious. This is my Mad Means Business channel. I love gaming, business, and talking about them. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.